I think this is one of the most important settings everybody can change. It's pretty easy. Just know what color of lights you're working with, or if you're outdoors, typically 5600 Kelvin is a good temperature to set your camera to. Put it right there and your image will look a lot better.
If the wall is right behind me and there's no depth, like it would be very uninteresting. So having a background that is interesting, turn on a lamp, all those little things just help you make a better looking shot and make it more engaging.
You gotta just press record.
So a lot of people think you have to spend a lot of money to make good YouTube videos. Well, we have 10 different tips that will help you improve your videos for $0. Craig, what is our first tip?
So our first tip of the day is to use natural light, but to use it intentionally. So one of my favorite ways personally to use natural light is by leveraging golden hour or even blue hour. So this is a specific time of the day in which the lighting just is really pretty outside. So usually about 1 hour before sunset, maybe 45 minutes before sunset is golden hour. So everything's going to look really pretty in the sky. I just shot a video about the iPhone 16 best settings, and I intentionally went out and waited till the end of my day to go shoot this B-roll because it looked really pretty outside. So I shot it right around golden hour, but also the hour after sunset is called blue hour. It can be kind of a creative look if you want to try it out. So take a look at the times of the day that you're shooting, and that could be a really cool way to enhance your videos.
Movies are shot specifically in mind for having golden hour, having that natural light look. You don't have to invest in a light if you just go outside and film outside. You have all the light you need.
Yep,
so.
exactly. Yeah, such an easy tip.
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
like plan your day around just filming at the most beautiful time of the day.
Well, our next tip is to optimize your background. So we're talking about back here, it looks pretty specced out. You don't have to go this fancy, but simply like little things like cleaning up your space.
Yes.
How many times we see a messy background? Let's just like improve, clean up a little bit, straighten up, but also just like what we talked about, like adding depth. So many people shoot up against a flat wall.
Yeah.
If the wall is right behind me and there's no depth, like it would be very uninteresting. So having a background that is interesting, turn on a lamp, all those little things just help you make a better looking shot and make it more engaging.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and Nate, something that our viewers might not know is a lot of your content is actually produced in your bedroom.
Yeah.
And it looks amazing. Like you would never know, even on some of our video calls that we have, it seems like you're in a full-fledged studio space, but you're maximizing the space that you have.
It's a pretty small room. It's literally, you can see the bed in my frame, but I like make sure I clean my bed.
Yes, intentional decisions.
Yeah, comb my hair, brush my teeth, all those little things just so you look good on camera. You're going to feel more confident, all that stuff. But what is our third tip?
Our third tip is to enhance your audio by using free tools and also just free strategies. So one of the easiest ways to get better audio is to just think about the room that you're filming in. And are all your surfaces really hard and reflective? Maybe you have really high vaulted ceilings that are creating an echo in your space. There's really easy ways to mitigate the amount of sound bleed coming from reflections back into your microphone. So the easiest way to do this is really just put some soft objects in your frame. So put pillows around your studio space, around the edges of the frame, around the corners. Also, if you could film on a softer couch as opposed to a hard chair, these little minute changes are going to make the world of difference when it comes to recording your audio. But there's also some like technical ways you can use, including Adobe Audio Enhance. Have you used Adobe Audio Enhance before?
Oh, all the time. If you have like really, really rough audio that's like no chance of saving, you can export out an MP3, upload that to Adobe Podcast Enhance, which it is free.
It's free.
And then it will enhance it, do its magic, and then you can download that. And it does save a lot.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember it's been out for probably over a year now, maybe 18 months or so. But I remember the first time that I tried it out, I just set my iPhone on a table. I just recorded a little example clip, run it through Adobe Audio Enhance, and it sounded like I recorded on a $400 podcast microphone. It's crazy.
You probably wouldn't want to do it for every video. Like get a good microphone, but if you need to save something, it works well. But like even more practical level, if you're just doing voiceover work, a lot of times I take my iPhone, go to the voice memos, press record, throw a blanket over me in my script, and the audio sounds really great. And again, $0.
Yep. Okay, so Nate, what's our fourth tip of the day?
Okay, so many people buy cameras, but they just kind of leave their settings automatically, whatever the camera is trying to figure out. And you have a great camera if you just learn to utilize the manual settings, you're going to get a way, way better image quality. So that can be simple as, I think most importantly, getting a correct white balance.
Yeah.
So you can dial it in. Like right now, our lights are 5600 Kelvin or daylight. Just go into the white balance settings of your camera and choose daylight. You could get more custom, like doing a custom white balance by holding up like a piece of paper
Yeah.
and then let the camera take a picture and it will automatically do it for you. Super easy, but that will give you good looking skin tones, all that right off the bat.
One of the things that I've noticed when somebody leaves their camera in auto white balance and allows their camera, especially with cell phones, I notice it's the worst. The camera is trying to pick up on all of the colors
Right.
of your scene. It's not just looking at your face. It's picking up your t-shirt. It's picking up at moving objects in the background. If you're in an outdoor environment, especially, it's going to be constantly changing your white balance depending on what's happening to your physical frame.
Yeah.
So I think this is one of the most important settings everybody can change. It's pretty
Yeah.
easy. Just know what color of lights you're working with, or if you're outdoors, typically 5,600 Kelvin is a good temperature to set your camera to. Put it right there and your image will look a lot better.
Even more than that, like choosing the proper aperture, shutter speed, ISO, and we'll have all these videos diving deep into each camera and how to properly set up, which we'll link in the description. But doing those things, you're going to instantly improve your image quality, and you don't have to buy a new camera, you don't have to buy a new lens.
Yep.
It's all there for free, just learning how to master your camera.
Yep, up your skills and your image is going to look a lot better.
Absolutely.
Well, our fifth tip is to leverage AI tools. So I know maybe AI, people are tired of hearing about AI, but honestly, it's something I use every day. If
Absolutely, me too.
I'm planning my videos, I'm always opening up Chat GPT, and I kind of use it as my virtual assistant. I just want to dial in my topic idea or my title idea or even thumbnail concepts as we're working as a team to come up with these different things that we need to publish a video. I'm using AI every single day.
Absolutely. I still do too. I think what you touched on is planning for your video.
Yeah.
Some people go in without a plan and they ramble through. And if you just spend an extra few minutes really crafting your video, understanding what are the pain points of my viewer, what is the best title for this, help me generate different talking points. And, AI typically doesn't give me a perfect thing to get off of at the first.
Yeah, it's a starting point.
Yeah. So it's literally a place where I can start and then later inject my own experience, my own critique. And I think that's where it's most powerful. Don't let it dictate your content, but let it to inspire you.
Yep. I hear all the time, like, are humans going to replace AI? I often hear people say, though, it's not, AI is not going to replace humans. It's humans that are leveraging AI tools to be more efficient are going to replace humans that are not. And I think this is so true even for editors or filmmakers or YouTube creators as well.
Well, our next tip number 6, is a very underrated tip, I think, is color correction or color grading we might hear. And, again, people have expensive cameras and they don't even look at color correction, which is simply like making sure the white balance is good after you shoot it in your editing software, making sure the contrast is right, the right brightness, saturation. Again, color correction is just so their colors look proper and accurate. Make sure your skin is looking good. You look good on front of the camera. Then color grading is a little bit more advanced where you add in a creative look, add in a feel to your videos. I think this is totally underrated. Every creator should use color correction. I think some filmmakers and other advanced YouTubers definitely lean into color grading to set a tone and feel. But again, you can use free tools to do this. iMovie to all the way to DaVinci Resolve, you can learn color correction.
Absolutely. And it is a really important distinction between correction and grading, because you look at a film that's been color graded, or even some YouTube channels color grade all of their stuff, and it looks kind of overwhelming. It's like, this thing looks so beautiful. Like, how do you achieve this? I'll never be able to do this. I'm just going to leave my image exactly how it is out of camera.
Typically, even if it's out of camera, it still doesn't look great. Maybe it's a little bit flat.
Exactly.
Right?
There's always a little bit. Every single clip that I work with, there's something that's a little bit off with it. So I adjust basically every single clip that I edit, I do a little bit of color grading or correction too.
I love that.
Yeah.
Tip number 7.
Our seventh tip, is improving your framing and your composition when you are filming a video. So the most common mistake I see creators make, and I am so guilty of this when I was early on in my career, is headroom. It's like, so I hope we framed the shot up correct. And if we didn't,
but if you were like framed up,
and
I was down here, like, look at all this headroom. It would be ridiculous, and it feels off.
Just imagine recording a whole podcast like this right here. It's just
it could be chill vibe.
But no, it is the most common mistake that I see creators make, where maybe your focus point is put in the very center of the frame. So then you frame yourself up in the very center, but usually you'd want to actually be on more like the top third of the frame. Or if you're filming B-roll, it could be pleasing to utilize what's called the rule of thirds and put your B-roll subject on one of the thirds of the frame
A
rather
left
than
or right frame to create a little bit of a balance
Exactly.
instead of just being in the center.
Yeah, so just getting creative with your compositions could even just make you feel more fulfilled, like your
Yeah.
videos aren't all exactly the
Learning
same.
good photography was huge, and just me as a filmmaker and YouTuber now, just like learning fundamentals goes a long way.
It
for
really
sure.
does. It really does. So number 8, what do we got, Nate?
Capture B-roll. Man, how many people don't use B-roll
Yeah.
or visual kind of interest to help further improve the points of their video? And this is just like after you grab talking head video, if you're talking about like this microphone, just grabbing a close-up B-roll shot of this after the fact, just so you can make your points more clear. Totally underrated. A free thing you can do, just taking the extra time to
Yep.
be intentional, and that will help level up your videos for
Yeah,
sure.
it just takes, I mean, it takes a little bit more time. So I understand why some people aren't
Right.
adding B-roll to their videos. And if you can't, a lot of the other tips that we talked about in this video,
Right.
at least do those. But really, I would say B-roll is a big one to elevate any piece. Number 9 is improving your body language. So this really, in my opinion, comes over time. Just as you get more comfortable in front of the camera, repetition is really helpful. You'll be able to feel a little bit more loose and engage with whatever the content is you're delivering. But I think it's an important reminder, like athletes, for example. So I played sports my whole life. One of the best ways you can improve as an athlete is to review the game footage. Like, how did you perform in the game? What are some things you can improve and do differently? So don't just like finish a video, finish the edit, and never revisit what happened. Like, watch the
Yeah.
video, watch it a week later or a month later, even on YouTube, and see what are some things that you could have improved for future iterations. This way you can always be learning and getting better.
Yeah, my first videos, I was literally just in front of the camera, just no expression, and definitely afraid of the cameras, but I'm just here talking monotone. It's not interesting at all.
Yeah.
So if you can just start using subtle hand movements, gestures, and improving your voice, your inflections on points that matter, does make a more engaging video. And if you can use storytelling, all these things that don't cost money, but it is inherently improving your videos. Again, look at the people who do it on the high end. They're using hand gestures.
Exactly.
Definitely.
Yep, it helps a lot.
Our
Well,
last tip
yeah.
is to learn video editing. It's totally free. You can get a free editing program, and learning the skill of editing is drastically going to improve your video. We actually have a whole video talking about editing tips that you can get started with. If you want to dive deeper into that, check out this video where we discuss that.